Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash the subscribe button now. And as promised and after so many recommendations, the film that I'm going to be discussing today is the Kannada film called Kantara, which was released last week and happened to watch it yesterday. And there were so many messages, of me. Over various social media platforms, insisting almost on watching this film in a weekend that actually saw a clash between Vikram Veda and PS1. Now, taking nothing away from these two, but it was Kantara who was, slowly rising in stature over the weekend. I remember at my area. There were no shows with English subtitles to begin with, and then slowly the shows started increasing up until yesterday, when I happened to watch it in a packed house, and that was something that was spectacular to watch for a Kannada film. And year 2022 has also been a special one in many ways because, uh, you know, uh, Kantara now becomes the first Kannada film that I've watched in a theater in its local language, in Kannada. Earlier, I had watched 777 Charlie, KGF 2, even one or other film I had also watched, but that was with in the Hindi dubbed version. That was not the original Kannada film. And this year, that is, it marks, it's a year of so many firsts for me. I happened to watch Janagana Mana, which was my first Malayalam film in a theater. Then it was Sita Ramam, which was my first Telugu film in a theater. Then it was Thiruchitrambalam, which was the first Tamil film in the theater. And now Kantara marks the first Kannada film that I've watched in its local language. And year 2022 has been kind in that aspect. So then, how is Kantara? It was filled with so much of positive word of mouth. The Book My Show app, it showed a heart percentage of 99%, and so that was something that was unheard of for any other film. And so, how is Kantara? Here we go. So, Kantara basically is a story. Which basically deals with the man versus nature concept, and it turns it on its head. This is all you need to know about the film. I knew only this. In fact, I did not even know this while venturing into the film. I went into the film totally blind. And the story here is absolutely brilliant. It turns it on its head. It's rooted to its culture. It has its folklore kind of a theme to it, but it also gives a good messaging at the end as well. And it is not preachy at all. It is. I'll speak about it a little more. I needed some more time, to process what to write in my review for the film Kantara, before, venturing to just straight away write it. It was so powerful. So the screenplay here, standing at 150 minutes, might seem daunting, but this is a cinematic experience like no other. You do not want to miss out on this cinematic experience in a theater. Please, if you can, go venture out in the theater, spend a little, and I just take my word for this, you are not going to be disappointed. Now the drama, it opens on a rollicking note, in which there's a king who, gives a part of his land in exchange for a demigod which is made out of stone, which gives him peace and happiness in life. And there is a folklore attached to that if the exchange goes awry, then there would be destruction. And this is a lovely way of setting up the relationship between the man versus the nature, and how both need to work together to ultimately protect nature. It cannot be. And if man uses it for his personal gains, then the destruction mode of nature comes into the picture, and that is something that is established here in the form of a folklore tale, which was very interesting to watch, and that gave the drama a whole new dimension. Now, this film, I cannot categorize it in any particular genre. This film is a comedy also. it is an action film also, it is an adventure film also, it is a horror film also, it is a thriller also. So there are so many genres that are there, which are integrated in the screenplay, which this sort of a narration I've seen in a few other Kannada films as well, and that is something that it requires a high level of skills, to justify each genre, and that I think was done very well here. But I just found myself so engaged in the drama right from the beginning, and this is probably because of my love for culture as well. The culture which here it just shows the Bhuto Kalo festival, which basically is the annual festival set in northern Kerala or in the area of Mangaluru, where this area is set in. In the film, in a village in Mangaluru, where the demigods are celebrated, and they say that the demigods take the form of body of the one who's conducting the ceremony, and that I was just reading about it. It was so fascinating, and it was so brilliantly shown in this film that it just made my day, immensely made my day. And also the Kambala festival, was also shown here, wherein it is basically a buffalo race, when one of the riders, they ride with a couple of buffaloes and through the waters, and that is something that was also so fascinating to see. There was no jump cuts here. The protagonist, in this case Rishab Shetty, actually took the effort of learning that, and his introduction was so exhilarating in that Kambala festival that is there. And I was just reading about the Kambala festival, and it's extremely gratifying, and extremely I just absolutely love reading about these new festivals and new cultures which are region specific, and here it was shown very well, on celluloid. The humor in the film, I would say, the humor in the film is quite situational, unlike some of the other Kannada films, where the humor is forced. I feel that here, like the Kannada film that I'd watched, Vikrant Rona, sorry, Vikrant Rona, that I'd watched this year, the complaint that I had about the film was that the humor was very forced in the screenplay. But here it was just like it felt so organic, one thing leading to another, and with the interesting mix of characters that had interesting character traits. Those characters that were there, they made for a fascinating watch in a very organic, it seemed like they were just conversing with one another in an everyday life that they have, and in that the humor was coming out to be brilliant. It was met with a lot of laughter in that packed house as well, where I was in, and that was something that I really enjoyed. The romantic angle also I really enjoyed, although I did feel that it was borderline problematic, when there were certain scenes that were there in the film, and I just felt that could have been avoided. Maybe that was the one little complaint that I had with this particular film. But otherwise, I mean, everything, it just felt so organic in this film. The first half was a splendid build-up, which it already had the undercurrents of that folklore. A case in point being when the protagonist and his friends go hunting, and they hunt for the wild boars that are there. There you do get a glimpse of a danger lurking, of a figure walking through the forest area, which actually signified the deity who was protecting the forest, the area of forest. But as far as the forest land was intact, the destruction mode wasn't activated there, and that is something that was beautifully shown. Also, the film is a lovely take on the personal gains and the forest encroachment that has been doing rounds, even in current day scenario. It just shows that if you basically try to encroach the forest or the nature deity in this film, as they call it, is going to activate the destruction mode, and that is something that was shown here. The twists and turns are fabulous. It is subtle but fabulous. The second half is where all the action takes place, and the entire folklore that is there, it is maintained throughout in the undercurrent. So every now and then, there is those howlers that come in, which come in like a attention seeker, where the danger is, lurking around the corner. I think that was really fascinating, and it just got your attention back. Not that it was distracting in the first place either. I was completely in the drama, and that completely, the way it was shot also, it was so beautifully shot. The horrors, I won't term it as typical horror, but yeah, for the lack of a better word, the horror scenes that were there, there was spine chilling. Which brings me to the final act. Now, the final act, oh my god, the last 20 minutes was a visual spectacle in every sense of the word, where all the mayhem, where hell breaks loose and there's mayhem and destruction. Oh my god, that is a sight to witness on screen. And that there's also a extended sequence wherein the protagonist, is I wouldn't tell you that, but the involving the protagonist where a lot of physicality is required. Let's put it this way. That I feel was also, it just filled you up with so much energy, and I think it just gave me goosebumps after goosebumps after goosebumps. Oh my god! And it sent me in a trance. I mean, I cannot remember the last film that sent me in a trance, and I was thinking about the film long after the film was over, and it actually took me time to write the review, uh, just to fill my thoughts with it. I just wanted the film to settle with me before I started writing, and you can read the full review of that on my site, Popcorn Reviews, the full review of Kantara. Oh my god, so I had to take a little break before writing it, and that was something that was special. And if you do not get goosebumps, please consult a doctor. There is definitely something wrong then, because that is something that I love cinema for. And it's everything that I wanted from cinema. That magical moment, that is, these moments aren't fed regularly to the audience. These are rare moments, and these need to be witnessed on the big screen. And it was absolutely splendid. Thank you so much for people who have recommended this film. And that last 20 minutes is probably, I think, the best I've seen all year. I am not kidding. It's the best I've seen all year. And the screenplay, it marks the screenplay, which is fabulous to watch. It's absolutely sensational and also very deeply rooted to the culture. Coming to the technical aspects, the dialogues are extremely impactful and they create a stir instantly. I could also make out, through the subtitles, it also, the English subtitles below that, there were Kannada subtitles as well, which gave me a feeling that the dialect here in the specific lines that were mentioned, they did have a different dialect. It was probably a Mangaluru kind of a dialect, and that was something that gave a very authentic feel to the drama. Also, I did feel that the music was absolutely stunning. It was one hell of a music score, a music piece that was there. Even the BGM, if you think of in the final act, oh my god, it enhances and it just puts the drama on ascendancy. It is almost like you are on steroids, listening and witnessing to that music while witnessing the mayhem on screen, and that is something that was spectacular to watch. The cinematography is absolutely stunning. That it just, you just cannot enjoy this film on the small screen. Probably you can, but you need a very big screen to truly, witness the feeling and be a bystander in the village. I think that is something that the big screen experience does here, and this is a big screen movie in every sense of the word, because the cinematography is stunning, absolutely stunning. It's a visual spectacle, especially in the final 20 minutes. It's an absolute visual spectacle. Now coming, and I'll also talk about the art design, which gives, and the art design, the speciality is such that the film is shot in real locations, and that actually gives a double impact to the film. There are no sets, and this is something that I noticed in the teaser of Adi Purush. I do not generally watch trailers or teasers, but because of the hype that was surrounded around the Adi Purush teaser, I happened to watch that, and the Adi Purush teaser was highly disappointing because of the poor VFX that were there. And in certain scenes, the VFX weren't even required. You could have shot it in real locations and still come out equally brilliant. But they opted for the VFX and it was all messed up. And this is the thing, if there are any budding filmmakers around, opt for real locations as far as possible. The entire world is your set. Do not waste time on VFX where it is not required. This is a lesson. Here it is shot in completely in the original locations that are there, which gave it such an authentic feeling. There were no locations that were made up of set which would have diluted the impact. There's no dilution at all in this film. The editing also that was there, uh, there were no jump cuts. If you see, the editing was a proper one take shot and there were no body doubles used anywhere. So the protagonist, Rishab Shetty, actually was riding those buffaloes, and that is something that it was not fooling or cheating the audience in any sense of the word. Which brings me to Rishab Shetty, the director first. Director Rishab Shetty is an absolute gem. He is a legend in every sense of the word, who hasn't been getting his credit and is slipping under the radar in the wake of some of the other names which are outside Karnataka. I'm saying in Karnataka he is a very big name, but outside Karnataka, the word he you wouldn't, the first name, if you ask who's your favorite director in the Rajamaulis and the Hiranis and the Anurag Kashyap's, Rishabh Shetty's name will not be number one. It will not strike you. Not that he's less capable, but it will not strike you. And he's a fabulous, fabulous director. Even his creative brothers that were there, Raj Shetty, I had watched GGVV last year. And that was absolutely spectacular. This year I had watched Rakshit Shetty's film 777 Charlie, which was so brilliant, so emotional. I cried for hours after that film. This film particularly marks the trilogy in the Shetty brothers, I can say, for the screen, and that was absolutely brilliant to witness. The way he engages the audience and holds the attention, also not taking uh, the intelligence of the audience for granted. Instead, this film could have also been very area specific, but he eases it out for people who aren't aware of this culture, yet doesn't dumb it down to a very large extent. And that is something that is the victory of the director here, absolute victory. And Rishabh Shetty and directors like these need to be cherished and studied for their work. And coming to the performances, I think the performances are absolutely spectacular. I think Achyut Kumar, he was intimidating, and his cold expressions that were there, I think he did a marvelous job here. Pramod Shetty and some of the other guys that were there, they all did a brilliant, brilliant job. S. Goda, the actress that was there in this film, she also held her own, and she looked very pretty in the film as well. She did her own. But it is again actor Rishabh Shetty who steals the show in every sense of the word. Not only did he himself do many stunts in the film without a body double, but that final 20 minutes where his character absolutely goes into destruction mode. It just absolutely left me speechless and in a trance. The amount of energy, the growls, there's a growl that is there in his character, the howl. I should say howl, not a growl. It's a howl, and that I think was something that absolutely filled you up with so much energy. Yet also, it was used in areas where it would take you aback. So it was absolutely caught me off guard in certain sequences, although I was very alert in the film. So his physicality was on point, his mannerisms were on point, and he is an absolute legend as far as acting is concerned as well. Please mention in the comments section Rishabh Shetty OP. I think that is something that you need to comment for his performance and for his direction here. He's an absolute gem. So comment Rishabh Shetty OP in the chat. And as far as Kantara is concerned, it is a cinematic experience like no other, which will send you in a trance, and it is goosebumps guaranteed. You have to take my word for this. You have to watch this in a theater. It is filled with so many people yesterday that I had gone, and it was absolutely Absolute pleasure. This is the reason why I love my job of reviewing films. You know, I get to watch so many new films, and I have my Digi family backing me, who is recommending me these films from different areas of India and also different areas of the world. So thank you so much. I think it was Manju and a couple of other subscribers who had recommended this film. Thank you so much for recommending this film. And it was a experience that I haven't. It will stay with me until I die. So it is an experience of a lifetime for me. Theatrical experience, cinematic experience. So if you're liking the video, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. It helps a small creator like me. Press that bell icon. You'd know when I come online with a new video every time. Please read my full review of Kantara on my site Popcorn Reviews with a double S. The link of which is in the description box below. Sorry for the long video first, but there was a lot to discuss in this film. And let me know your thoughts on Kantara in the comment section. Don't forget to comment Rishab Shetty OP as well. Also throw me some recommendations if you can, and I'll try to get to it soon. I know there are a couple of recommendations, but those films aren't on OTT, so it's taking a little time. And also follow me on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterbox, all links are in the description box below. And yes, spread this love of this movie. You know, this movie is nothing short of an RRR as well. It's absolutely stunning, and please spread the word about this film. And such films need the fan support even outside the area, outside Karnataka. I know Karnataka has, you know, contributed to a large point of its business, but outside Karnataka, this film needs to be spread, and it's a fabulous film. So take my word for it. I will again be back tomorrow. Hopefully, yeah, I think I'll be back tomorrow as well, and so you're going to see a lot more of me. So then, until next time, thank you so much for your love and support. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you.